Hi, welcome back to my channel, Beautiful Minutia. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and today I wanted to take you on a trip with me. For my birthday, we are going to McKay's, which is an amazing two-story used bookstore, and I wanted to take you along with us so you can see some of the cool books that I got. Okay, and we're back, and I got a lot of really great books that I can't wait to share with you. I think I'll categorize them a bit to make it a little easier to share, and you can kind of skip around if you are more interested in seeing certain types of books than others. So we're going to start with my shortest category, which is fantasy. I had a list of books that I was looking for, and unfortunately, none of them were there, but I did find one book that was not on my list that I was really excited to find, that I've been wanting to read for a little while, and that's Senlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft. This is book one of the Books of Babel. I've heard a lot of people talking about this book. I think one of the books in the series just recently came out, and maybe it's the final book. I don't know if this is a trilogy or if it's more. Really don't know hardly anything about it at all. I've just heard a lot of people say that they really enjoy it, so I'm looking forward to reading this one at some point because, of course, I need to start another fantasy series at some point, right? Next up, I have a couple of middle grade books that I got. The first one is Rascal by Sterling North, and I don't really know anything about what this is about except for that it's about a boy and a raccoon, but it was 95 cents. So I went ahead and picked that one up. I do have So Dear to My Heart by Sterling North too, and like this absolutely beautiful edition. So I haven't read it, but I remember watching the So Dear to My Heart movie when I was a kid. It has to do with a lamb, I'm pretty sure, and it was a Disney version of it, and I remember loving that. So I don't know if I like his writing style or not, but I have it. I also got a copy of At the Back of the North Wind by George McDonald. I have read this before, and I find it to be a little bit dense for a children's classic, which I think is partly due to the time period that it's written in, but I like other George McDonald books a little bit more than I like this one. Like, I love The Princess and the Goblin, and I love some of his shorter stories, but I did really enjoy this one when I read it, and I think that it has some really great nuggets in it. So far, it's my least favorite George McDonald that I read, but it's good enough that I would want to own it, and I think that Claire might enjoy reading it someday. These are my prized possessions that I found. I'm so excited. One of these was $3 and one of them was $4. And I know that they're more children's books than they are adult books because I have already shared these with my friend Dia, who is a huge Louisa May Alcott fan. And I got these lovely matching editions of Under the Lilacs and Jack and Jill. They also had 8 Cousins there, but I actually already have 8 Cousins in a really cute edition. So I only got these 2, but they match. The covers are so lovely, and there's illustrations inside. Let me see if I can find one. Some really cute, like, old-timey illustrations. So these are like some of the things that I'm most thrilled that I found. I actually found Under the Lilacs there in a paperback edition for $4, and this one was only $3 for this beautiful hardcover. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting the paperback, I'm getting this one. I also got a nice little stack of nonfiction here, some of which I'm super thrilled about. Actually, I'm pretty much thrilled about all of them except one. So I'll share the one I'm least thrilled about. First, I got a Tolstoy biography by Henry Toyat, and this is actually translated from the French. I don't know if this is a good biography or not, but it was 25 cents. So I was like, why not? Speaking of 25 cents, I am absolutely geeking out that I found the collection of Flannery O'Connor's letters for 25 cents. The Habit of Being. This has been on my Amazon wish list ever since Christy read it for Flannery in January this year and loved it, and I didn't realize it was so big. It makes sense that it is. And this was compiled and edited by a dear family friend, Sally Fitzgerald. So I'm not necessarily into letters a lot of the times, but the quotes that Christy shared from this makes me think that I really will enjoy this and I really want to read it. And it was 25 cents. I can't believe it. I also found, I didn't find volume 1, but I have volume 2 and 3 of the Gulag Archipelago. And I'm really interested in reading this. I've heard great things about it. Maybe I would do better if I just bought the condensed volume that condensed all 3 of these into one. Would probably be more readable for me, but I couldn't pass these up. And my last nonfiction is this beautiful edition of Peter the Great by Robert K. Massey. I have several other Robert K. Massey biographies, and I know that he is one of the most well-loved Russian historian slash biography writers, and he's written some on Peter the Great, Catherine the Great, Nicholas and Alexandra, and the Romanovs, and all of that kind of stuff. So I was really excited to find this one. Last but not least, I have a nice little stack of classics over here. The first one I want to share is Damien by Hermann Hesse. This is a book that, first of all, has like the worst cover, I think. Like, this cover is just not it, but it was only $2, and I know that my library is not going to purchase this because I don't think it has the mass appeal of reading that other classics might. So I went ahead and picked it up. I heard about this book through both Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky in Space and Jennifer Brooks. They both read this book this year. I both really enjoyed it. Christy said it was a really interesting character study and kind of good versus evil kind of a deal. And I remember, I think Jennifer said that this is possibly one of her favorite books of the year. And it's also the book that BTS based their song Blood, Sweat, and Tears on, and even their music video. Christy did a really great literary analysis slash comparison of the music video as compared to this book. So I'll share that in the description below so you can check that out because it was really interesting and really insightful, and it made me want to read this even more. So I hate the cover, but I'm really excited to read it. Hilariously enough, I was just talking about this book on my live that I did this past weekend, and that's the Scarlet Pimpernel. I had this book at one point and then got rid of it because I never read it, and I've been thinking about lately how I want to read it because I think it's kind of like a adventure kind of story, and it was 90 cents, and this actually looks like it might have even been the exact same edition that I owned before, which is just kind of funny. I also, for 90 cents, got The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton, and this is one I've been wanting to read. Shelley Swearingen has been talking about Edith Wharton like all the time lately. She's read several of her books this year, and I just really, really want to read her. I also got Romula by George Eliot, and this is really interesting because this was written in the Victorian period and it was a historical fiction then, which I don't hear as much about. I think it was written during the time of the Renaissance, 15th century Florence, the time of the expulsion of the Medici. So that's really interesting to me. I've heard some people say that they don't love this, but I think I actually remember, again, Jennifer Brooks. This is a very influential book haul from Jennifer Brooks because I remember her liking Robert K. Massey too. So apparently Jennifer really influenced this book haul. I remember her saying that this is one of her favorite Eliots. Next up, I got an Honoré de Balzac, which is Eugenie Grandet. Maybe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Maybe I'm not. I have a book by him that I bought earlier this year. I can't remember the title. If I can find it, I will put it on the bottom of the screen. But I'm really interested in him, even though I haven't read anything by him yet. Pere Goriot, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's the one I have. And it's a really beautiful edition. So I picked this one up. Will I like it? I don't know, but I haven't really heard much of any of his books except Pere Goriot, so I picked this one up. I also got this really cool book, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Other Stories by Washington Irving. I do own a book by him that has Sleepy Hollow and Rip Van Winkle in it, but this one is really cool because it has way more short stories. It's got all of those and all of these. So there's a lot of short stories to be read in here. So I'm excited because I haven't heard of most of them. I've only read 3 Washington Irving short stories, but they're all very easily 5 stars, and I just really love his writing style so much. And last but not least, I got this lovely Barnes & Noble classic edition of Valet by Charlotte Bronte, which I have not read. The only Charlotte Bronte I have read is Jane Eyre, and it's actually been years since I've read that, so I'm interested to read this one. And that's it. Those are the books that I picked up at McKay's for a fun day of birthday shopping, so thank you for joining me in this lovely little birthday shopping excursion. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Have you read any of these books? And if so, what were your thoughts? Are there any that you think I should prioritize and read sooner rather than later? Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like and also subscribe so you can continue to see more bookish content from me. And I will see you again next time.